A few weeks ago, I came across this interesting Facebook post. It said, okay, hear me out. What if Ash and Eiji never met? And well, of course, I had to share my thoughts with you guys. First of all, spoiler warning. And also, this video is gonna be mostly about headcanons and based on opinion. So somebody else could always have a different take on this. I also already left my analysis on the original Facebook post, so I'll just be recapping and adding some more details to that. Without further ado, let's get started. Eiji's depression would have definitely gotten worse. It's canon that Eiji was going through something before traveling to New York. I read Flyboy in the Sky, and there was nothing about his broken leg there, but he was in a really competitive spot. Once he broke his leg and didn't get his scholarship that he worked so hard for, Shunichi hired him as an assistant and asked him if he wanted to go to New York with him. He was always dependent on Shunichi to save him from tense situations, even though he was nearly 20 years old. The first time Shunichi helped him was through his own photographs, the second being his contact lenses. Shunichi was always there for him, but was always somewhat overbearing. It's Ash who teaches him how to take care of himself. Towards the end, Eiji ends up being the one to save Ash from Dino. Learning how to shoot a gun and facing the mafia was definitely not the safest way to get there, but he gradually starts to stand up against Yutlong, Dino, and heck, even Shunichi. Ash taught him a lot when it came to self-confidence and maturing, despite being younger than him. Without Ash, Eiji would have gone back to Japan possibly feeling more empty and hopeless than before. His life would have no real meaning since he lost his purpose the moment he lost his future in pole vaulting. He would be constantly scared and comparing his own accomplishments to the gangster teens of New York. He would have just felt like more of a failure. Sure, he would be safer in Japan, but he would have been miserable. His life would have consisted of what ifs instead of what can. Losing the scholarship may have not been a really big deal, but to Eiji, it meant not being capable of anything. Eiji really needed Ash to tell him that falling down didn't mean staying down. It's necessary to feel pain to become stronger. Without Eiji, on the other hand, Ash would have finally given up. Him and Skip would have been caught in the first few episodes. Skip still would have died, and Ash would chase after Marvin, but Eiji was the one to call the cops. The street gangs would come to help, but they won't be able to function without their boss. Arthur would have taken full control over them, spilling blood for fun with Kane and Shorter's gang. Ash wouldn't have any way out of the prison during this either, and although Ash was a very smart kid, Eiji was ultimately the reason he kept going. Ash would have fell right back into Dino's hands, if not, would have taken his own life. It might have taken some time, but it would have happened a lot sooner. Blanca would have to be called, and Yutlong would have still worked alongside his brothers. The first thing Dino would have done is adopt him. Becoming his son would be Dino's official way to put a leash around his lynx. Dino would have broken everything that made Ash human as he grew older, not only abusing his body, but crushing his rebellious nature until he would take Dino's place years later. I'm sure some psychological manipulation would have taken place since Ash isn't close with Max, who plays as his father figure, leaving Dino as the only real dad he has. Once Dino dies, Ash might become angry enough to kidnap kids the same way Dino did to him, if Ash hadn't already died from his eating disorder. Ash has never known love without abuse. Someone has always wanted something from him. If Ash had never met Eiji, he would have never known what it meant to feel actual love. Much like Yutlong, but worse in my opinion. All Ash ever wanted to do was to escape, but no matter how hard he tried, he wouldn't be able to do this by himself. But if they never had met, Shorter may still be alive. Anyway, headcanon-wise, Ash was definitely a smoker. He vapes like a typical junior in a high school bathroom. I feel like Yutlong would use this as a way to differentiate between them too. Like, I'm a classy drinker, he's just a druggie. Also, Kane definitely listens to Dr. Dre, and I feel like he sees Ash as sort of like an Eminem. Anyway, that's all I really had planned for this video. I just wanted to make a little short, fun thing. So this one is just gonna be headcanons and more fun stuff. Thank you so much for the recent followers. Please talk about your headcanons in the comments section below, and I hope we can have another discussion about this because I love banana fish. I've said that so many times, but yeah, I'm obsessed with it, and I hope you really like this video. Thank you so much for watching.